Morning, folks. Welcome back to The View for a slightly impromptu Sunday afternoon news update. It's a real short one just to bring up to date on some of the transfer rumours that have come out today as we get ready for what will be the biggest day of the transfer window for Leeds tomorrow, Monday, the window closing at 11 p.m. tomorrow night. We will have a final hour stream. It could be 2 hours now. We could be doing a preview to the midweek's game as well as looking at the last hour of the transfer window. And you can check that out on the channel. Myself, Michael and Alex from American Leeds Podcast. As normally, we'll do the final hour as we have done for the last 3 years. But we'll start off with this. There's stories today about Jack Harrison, Mark Guiu, Edouard Spertsyan and Cameron Archer. So we'll start off and bring up to date on what's happening. The first one is Mark Guiu from Chelsea. There were reports today from Chelsea's side that Leeds were said to have made a bid of £5 million for Chelsea attacker Mark Guiu. According to the YEP, Ellen Road recruitment chiefs have said that a number 9 is still their target and priority target coming into the close of the window, and that Cameron Archer is likely to be the number 1 target. But Leeds did say that they have got alternatives on the cards should they not be able to get a move for Cameron Archer done. That brings Mark Guiu into the equation. The Sun today claim that the Spanish striker could be on his way out of Stamford Bridge, and Leeds United have been mentioned as one of the clubs that could be interested in bringing him in. However, according to the YEP and according to Ben Jacobs this morning, they believe that these reports so far are false and that Leeds are not pursuing Mark Guiu at this moment at least. He's a very good young striker, but it appears for now that these reports might just be a little bit on the false side, or at least maybe Leeds have just put out a couple of feelers, and that's probably likely. We saw the same with Matt Targett, Leeds putting out a couple of feelers just in case moves happen and can happen quickly. At least they've done the primary work on that. So that's the first one. It's Mark Guiu. Came into Chelsea with a lot of excitement. Didn't really do it yet, at least, but he is a young player and has lots of time. But yeah, for now, these reports are said to be false. Let's move on to the Cameron Archer situation. This looks like the number 1 target for Leeds and looks like the most likely player that could come in before the close of the deadline. We knew last week that Leeds made the first approach for the player, and the loan bid that Leeds put in was knocked back by Southampton. There were reports yesterday that Sunderland and Middlesbrough were lining up bids for Archer as well as Leeds, and that they could gazump Leeds and step in and take over from where Leeds were trying to get a deal done. But Archer was absent from Southampton's entire matchday squad yesterday when Southampton picked up only their second win of the season in the Premier League, and they did that without Cameron Archer. But the reports on the Southampton in the know, social media side, journalists over there, they claim that talks between the two clubs are ongoing. And it also says that Southampton appear to be open to the fact that they might lose Cameron Archer in this window. This could be one for tomorrow. It's likely to rumble on. It probably won't get done today because it's Sunday. It'll likely be tomorrow at some point. But this looks like it could be the number 1 target that Leeds bring in. If they bring in anybody. There has been a number 10 mentioned yesterday as well. And we'll move on to that for the next story. And this one relates to a report coming out of Russia, according to Sport24 in Russia and shared by the Yorkshire Evening Post. Leeds are said to be interested in Russian attacking midfielder from Krasnodar, Edouard Spertsyan. But they do say in this report that a move before the end of the window could be difficult to do. Russian journalist Ivan Karpov says that Leeds United are interested in the player, who was coached for a brief spell in 2022 by Daniel Farke, and that means it's easier for him to integrate into the Leeds squad because Farke already knows him. The 24-year-old number 10 has been at Krasnodar his entire career, and he appeared himself to pour a little bit of cold water on this report when he was interviewed recently, and he said that he had offers from European clubs, but you'd need to ask his club what the situation was. But he said he is here for now and will continue for the next 6 months. Here's the kicker with this one and the difficulty with this deal. As well as Leeds, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain and Ajax have all been labelled as clubs that might have some interest in the player. Maybe not now, but in the summer. And that you can add Celtic, you can add a ton of other clubs to that. He has been linked with several European clubs over the last couple of seasons. He's a talented young player. He's a talented number 10. He will be a very good fit for Leeds. He will be a very good player for Leeds to bring in. He fits the kind of mould that Leeds go for, kind of more obscure leagues to bring players in. And there has been a change in the Russian legislation which would allow the player to move to England now after issues there over the last couple of years. But yeah, for right now, it's very much in the pinch of salt territory. It's been labelled by the YEP as being pinch of salt. So just for now, there's a lot of noise, a lot of names floating around. But that's the one that for right now, we just park it. Hopefully that turns out to be something. But when you see the names of the clubs that are linked with a player, I think we can all say it's probably going to be a tougher one to get that done. But it means that they're looking at a 10, I suppose, after missing out on Buendia. Maybe we can get another one in before the window closes. And then we move on to the final player that's been linked with a move away from Leeds. He's already away from Leeds, but he could be going further away from Leeds for a little bit. And that's Jack Harrison. There were reports and shared by silly Facebook and Twitter pages over the course of the week that Leeds were going to recall Jack Harrison. They can't. The reality of the Jack Harrison situation is there's no recall clause in the deal. If Jack Harrison was to come back to Leeds, Everton, Leeds and Jack Harrison all have to agree to the termination. Leeds don't want Harrison back. Harrison doesn't want to come back. So that's not going to happen. He is not coming back to Leeds. However, there is a report in the Daily Mail this morning that states that Fulham are said to have inquired about the possibility of bringing Jack Harrison to them before the deadline close. If it's a case that Everton decide that that is not an avenue for them, Jack Harrison came off the bench for Everton yesterday, played 2 minutes of football. He's been mostly a sub, even on David Moyes. It hasn't clicked. No goals, no assists this year. And he's not going to come back to Leeds. So Fulham are said to be monitoring the situation. They're saying that they're going to bring the player in if all sides could agree on this. And what would have to happen here is Everton would have to say, yeah, we don't want him anymore. And then Fulham and Leeds would have to agree with Jack Harrison to him go there on loan instead. So Jack Harrison might be moving away from Everton, but it won't be back to Leeds. And it could be heading towards Fulham, which would actually be a move upwards in the table, considering how Everton been this season. So, yeah. I'm saying off the top of my head, I haven't looked at the league table, but yeah. So there's going to be a lot of noise. As I said, we are back tomorrow night, Monday night from 10 o'clock. Keep an eye on the channel. We could be on live from 9 o'clock. We have got a bit of stuff to do tomorrow. There will be a news video in the morning. Then we've got possibly the preview for the midweek game. And then we will also have the transfer window final hour. And hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about. If not, we'll talk about the window so far. We'll look at the competitors and what they've done, and we'll see where Leeds are. After a tremendous 7-0 win yesterday for Leeds, you just don't want to see Leeds sit on their hands and, think that the job is done now, because it's not. We still need cover for Brendan. We still need cover up front, and we still need cover at right centre back. So even if we got 2 of those positions covered, it's a decent window. Other teams are strengthening, but they're strengthening in areas that they need to strengthen. We're very strong in our areas, so we just need to worry about ourselves and not anybody else. But folks, that'll be it for me for your Sunday. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you in the morning for whatever news is floating around tomorrow. Could be a bit later tomorrow getting the video out, depending on what's out there, and then back in the evening again. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out. Bye.